Harper Perennial and HarperAudio present The Poetry of Strangers. What I Learned Traveling America with a Typewriter by Brian Sonia-Wallace. Read by Graham Halstead. How do you delete? Every 8-year-old born in the 21st century using a typewriter for the first time. The First Stranger. When you are grown, no part of you will be recognizable. Will you tend the garden of yourself? Do you dare brave the soil? I sat behind a borrowed Smith Corona manual typewriter with sticky keys at a street party in downtown Los Angeles. The year was 2012, and I had recently returned to California from college abroad. Another unemployed millennial at the tail end of the financial crisis, looking for a purpose, but willing to settle for moving out of his parents' house. The pounding summer heat at the street party was broken by the shade of skyscrapers, glass citadels to wealth and power that towered over everyone. A new metro line had just been built in this car-powered city, and everyone was celebrating at the grand opening of the latest station. Naturally, to get there, I drove. Helicopter moms buzzed around their children. Paleteros called hielos and pushed ice cream carts, and a homeless man shouted himself hoarse and broke down on the street corner at all these people in his living room. L.A. was in the middle of a homelessness crisis, a gentrification crisis, a transportation crisis. L.A. was perpetually in the midst of these crises. Next to me, a DJ booth powered by solar panels played Pharrell Williams' Happy. I was nervous, palms sweating as I set out a Costco tray table and folding chair. Another birthday in my sputtering adulthood had passed, and I had a leftover length of blue wrapping paper that I made into a sign. Poetry store. Give me a topic. I'll write you a poem. Pay me what you think it's worth. Just a week before, I had heard a story on the radio about someone selling poems in a park, and with an invitation to do something at the street party, and the yearning only a 22-year-old can have to make a good impression, I thought I might as well give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? I reasoned with my terror. No one stops, and I write poems for myself in public like a weirdo and go home. I've been a weirdo before. I can do it again. I took a picture on my iPhone of the typewriter and reluctantly put it back in my pocket, shoving down the urge to Facebook, to text, to be anywhere but here, on the hot and crowded street corner, surrounded by strangers with an open invitation for any one of them to come up and talk to me. I idly typed on a piece of paper to calm my nerves. No sooner had I started writing than people drifted over, curious to see the typewriter and then bemused at the prospect of finding a self-proclaimed poet behind it. Do you need a poem? I asked them from under my Newsy-style flat cap. I'd done acting and wore this hat like a costume, like armor. I wasn't me, I told myself over and over again. I was the character of the poet. If people rejected me, they weren't rejecting me. They were rejecting this character I was playing. But people stopped almost immediately. Old folks to reminisce over the typewriter, curious kids and their parents, couples on dates. I asked each of them the same question. Do you need a poem? I don't have any money, replied a buzz-cut Chicana woman with tattoos peeking out wherever clothing met skin. That's okay, I replied. How about my dad then? Her answer was instant. He was a long-haul trucker when my brothers and sisters and I were growing up, so he wasn't able to be around much. She drifted into stories of her dad, her family, reminiscing about her life and relationships to a complete stranger on the street while throngs of people passed. My dad would be gone for weeks at a time, but he'd do it to be able to send money home, she told me. I would just want him to know that I understood, and that we loved him for it. She stopped and stood in silence. I wondered if this story was a weight she'd been carrying for a long time. My fingers struggled to muster enough force on the rusty keys of the typewriter in front of me to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?